And welcome back to another video. Today's video is predictions time for the November Internationals taking place this weekend, week one of international rugby of the November tests, and it's going to be epic. Some awesome games we have in store for us this weekend. Obviously next weekend we kick off with the full on fixtures, but I mean this weekend we got some big highlights to look forward to and to excite us, getting our rugby experience and gears going for this weekend coming up. Obviously we got South Africa versus England in Twickenham, which is the main one. That prediction I'm going to do tomorrow in the main video, where I just will chat about that in more detail. But for now, we're going to talk predictions of the other tests that are happening this weekend. Obviously, New Zealand, Japan take on each other, Wales, Scotland, and then New Zealand Maoris even take on the USA. So pretty exciting games to look forward to this weekend that are truly going to be epic. November Internationals are always exciting because it's North versus South, and to see who the better team is kind of gives us a little bit of a feeling of what the World Cup's going to be like. Are we going to see the South take it again, or are we going to see the North show up and surprise us all? Obviously massive fixtures to look forward to this weekend, as mentioned in yesterday's video, and obviously big fixtures to look forward to in the whole tournament in itself. New Zealand Ireland, New Zealand England being two of the main ones that we're looking forward to. South Africa England, I mean, it's going to be truly epic, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. But now let's get to the predictions of the weekend. We kick off with Japan versus New Zealand. Now obviously New Zealand go in as firm favourites. They're the best in the world, but one thing we must also remember, don't count out Japan. I'm not saying they're going to beat New Zealand, but I think they could give them a little scare or two just in the first 5-10 minutes of the game. I think it's going to be important for them, or maybe at the end even, and show up a bit, because don't get them wrong, look at last week, they came up so close. I think the final score versus the world team was 32-28, something like that, which is truly epic from a team like Japan, who haven't been competitive for quite some time, playing the odd game here and there. But I mean, we'll never forget the victory over South Africa. Even this close game was pretty epic. So special things to look forward to, and I wouldn't be surprised if they can give a hiccup or two against the All Blacks. It will be exciting for rugby and good to see. But for me, it's a no-brainer. All Blacks to win this one. I'm going to go 30 points or more. I think they're just going to go in with the attack aspect and just run it. Their fitness levels are out of this world. New Zealand obviously showed their form in the Rugby Championship, so I just see them continuing to show us why they're the best in the world, and I really see them putting on 30 or more points against the Japanese. I hope it's not a thrashing like an 80 points a game, but it's definitely going to be a tough one for Japan. Yes, they're at home, and I'm sure we'll have an epic crowd, but for me, I just see New Zealand taking this one. So first test to New Zealand. Then we have Wales versus Scotland. This game I'm really looking forward to. It is being viewed in South Africa, thank goodness. So I'm excited to watch these two countries play. Obviously we know Wales are on a good current form, having done well in junior internationals, done well in the Six Nations. They've redeemed themselves from where they were last year, which wasn't in the greatest of state. Yes, they had injuries, but they've really shown up and shown a lot of character, heart and passion for the game, which has been truly amazing to watch, and I'm looking forward to seeing that come out against Scotland. Scotland are another team we just can't count out. They've also had their ups and downs, but they've had a lot of ups. They've improved. They've shown that they can play on a competitive level. They obviously, their highlight beating England, which was truly remarkable for them. So things are happening for the Scots that just need to continue to grow, and I reckon this could be quite a competitive game. These two have played each other so many times. They've shown where they are in the game. They've shown their strengths and weaknesses, and I feel that we'll just see something special from these two nations. I'm hoping for a good game. Curious to see what the squads are going to be like. I would go in with a fairly good squad from both sides. Give them a good go, run in, so they're fresh and ready for their upcoming fixtures later on in this tournament. So I think it's going to be pretty epic. But for me, just because Wales are the home team, I see them winning maybe by 7 points. If I think it's going to be a tight game at the start. Both teams going to be throwing at it and going strong, showing a lot of competitive rugby. But for me, I just see Wales getting this one just because of its home fixture, where Wales are at the moment. I think Warren Gatland will have a few tricks up his sleeve in order to take them to the next level. But again, you can never count out Scotland. I mean, Jones, Russell needs to be on par with these points, and if he can do that, man alive, they can definitely cause an upset. I won't be surprised if Scotland pull out one, but for me, just from what I've seen in the past, and where Wales are, I just think they're gonna definitely give the Scots a go and win that one by maybe 7 points. But I'm hoping for an epic, classic, hard-fought game. Next game we have Italy versus Italy Ireland, other way around. Ireland versus Italy should be quite an awesome game, I think. And why I say I think is because the Italians are unpredictable. One week they can be pretty poor, and the next they can show a lot of competitiveness. Obviously, they're also in a state, or were in a state, with coaching issues and all that stuff, but hopefully that's all gelled right and that they can go into this game with a positive mindset, clean slate, and just go in and play competitive rugby. A lot of questions being asked. Should Italy play in the Six Nations? Should it be Georgia? We'll obviously see these two fight at it next weekend, which should be an epic game against Georgia. But obviously Italy are going to be wanting to put their foot down and showing the world that, hey, we might lose, but we are still here. We still want to play competitive rugby and show the world that we deserve our spot on the Six Nations turf. So rightly so, it's another Six Nations game. But for me, guys, Ireland are on another level at the moment. They've had the greatest year that they've had in years. Provincial level, they are brilliant. International level, they are brilliant. They won the Six Nations Grand Slam. They beat Australia in Australia 2-1. They've just been on another level, and for me, I just can't see Italy beating the Irish. I think Ireland are going to go in with a different mindset. Obviously, no Conor Murray, which is a big loss. But they're going to have Joe Smith, such a clever coach, and I reckon he's going to have the procedures and stuff in place in order to fill the gap of the loss of Conor Murray and have the new guy in place to play competitive. Obviously, Johnny Sexton is going to be the key in this game if he's closing against Italy. I hope to see full-on teams against this weekend. I want to see strong teams, those who are allowed to pick their players, obviously, but I want to see a good going, and I want to see the Italians show a bit of fight, show some character, show some class, and see what we can get. But for me, Ireland, a no-brainer. I'm going to say 15 points or more. I just see them as a stronger team on another level at this point in time. Final game of the weekend, obviously we got South Africa, England coming up, but that is going to be in another video tomorrow, so make sure you're subscribed and tuned in for that. We got New Zealand Maoris versus USA. Should be an interesting game, but for me, again, it's a no-brainer. I'm not too familiar with the Maoris because they don't view it here in South Africa, but there's quality in New Zealand rugby. Plain and simple, it's quality. You'll get strong players who can show up and play competitive rugby. USA, you can never count out. They obviously are a team that are building and developing slowly but surely, but for me, that prediction is a no-brainer. Maori All Blacks to win that one. I'll probably go more than 20 points. Should be a good game though. Curious to see what happens if it's viewed in South Africa, which I doubt it, but I will follow up on the results and obviously recap on them on Monday. So that's going to do it for the predictions for week 1 of the November Internationals. Should be some epic games. Might see an upset or two. You never know. You never know. But that's the beauty of rugby. Maybe one upset, but yeah, it should be a good game. Obviously, predictions done. Should be interesting to see how these teams gels. I'm very curious to see how the Northern Hemisphere teams do after obviously having the break from international rugby. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be epic. I'm looking forward to it. Week 1, let's go. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video of predictions. Make sure you are subscribed so you can catch South Africa versus England prediction. I will be doing that for you guys. And so yeah, stay safe, enjoy the rugby, and never give up. Cheers.